Okay, we are starting our neurographic self-portraits, tracing the photograph of ourselves, and then we're going to transfer them onto a white piece of paper. When you trace these, the first thing you need to do is tape your picture to the tracing paper, and then I just do it in one little spot and make sure after I peek, I can line it back up every single time. If you don't line it back up, it will make a mess. So some important things to remember. Remember, we are not making helmet heads, so I am not tracing around my hair. Hair is made out of little strands, so I want to follow those little strands to make my hair look like I have hair, not a helmet. Okay, so here, anywhere my hair starts to change directions, then I'm going to change directions with it. I may add another stroke. And then in here, I have these little hairs. If you have bangs, then you want to draw your bangs with little straight lines going down, like I do these little hairs over here. And I should have done it over here too, where my hair is short. My hair is short over there. So it should still look decent. It should not look like a helmet. You should not trace the whole thing and leave it blank in the middle. So check what it looks like every once in a while, then line it back up and keep on going. I want to get as much detail as I can in my ear without it looking ridiculous, including my earring. This ear, since I can't see much of it, it looks a little different. Than this ear over here. Teeth are kind of difficult too. You want to put enough detail on them that they look like teeth, but not so much detail that you are just tracing around them. So first I'm going to do my eye, and your eye is different than what you think it looks like. You do not see that whole circle where your iris is, just part of it, because your eyelid usually covers it. You have this line where your eyelid creases, so when you blink, that's where that extra skin goes. Your brows should also be little hairs. They should not be a triangle. You should not be combing or drawing a line around them. And then your eyelashes, do not make them look cartoony. Just do a few of them, so it shows that we have eyelashes, but they're not straight out. Your eyelashes curve. And yes, boys, you have eyelashes too. Okay, so that is what my eyes look like right now. Your, yes, I have wrinkles. You probably do not have wrinkles if you're one of my students. But sometimes if you start getting too much detail in there, it makes those details not just look funny, but they make you look maybe 90 years old instead of just, I don't know, 46 years old. You don't want to put a ton of detail into your nose. You want maybe just the tip of your nose and the sides. You don't even have to go into the tip of your nose. It's up to you how much detail you want in that nose, but the more lines you add, the less realistic it looks, because your nose is not made out of specific lines. It's made out of shadows. Okay? So more detail makes it look more cartoony, less realistic. We want lots of details, but you don't want them to look ridiculous. So my smile lines, of course, my little dimple, bottom of my jaw, my chin. Again, keep going back and forth to see what it looks like, if it's working for you. Okay, and then my mouth, my lips, my teeth. Just do the best you can. Using the lines that you have from your picture. Do not guess on them. Okay, line it back up after every time. Okay, and then on my teeth, it's going to take a little bit to figure out how you like them. If you draw all the way around them, it's gonna look silly. Sometimes I just put a little V in there for my little gums. Sometimes that makes it look silly. It just depends on the photo. It depends what your photo looks like, how much your teeth show. Sometimes I do just the top and the bottom and no middle. But you don't want them to look like chiclets. You don't want little pieces of gum. You want them to look real. Okay, and then moving down into my neck. Again, details, but not too many. So my neck comes down like this. My sweatshirt line comes around like this, but there's also a shadow here. Where my neck is. I need to draw the wrinkles in my sweatshirt. Don't just outline this like like what I said here, like a helmet. Those wrinkles will make it look more three-dimensional and make it more realistic looking. And that's how we get our self-portrait to look as much like us as possible. Okay, next we are going to put our self-portrait onto our watercolor paper. You are going to get a transfer carbon transfer paper. I've used this once already, but it'll still work. You are going to put the ink side down facing the paper. You are putting your transfer on top of it. I want wherever it goes off the page on your picture as well, on your paper as well. So this goes down. Since this goes off the page and this goes off the page, I need to make that go off the page again. Okay, so I am going to tape down my picture. I'm gonna tape my transfer paper to my carbon paper. Okay, and then I want to tape the transferred paper this way and this way. Yours might not be going off the page like mine is, so you might be able to wrap it around like I did here. So just making sure everything looks good. And then we're gonna go ahead and trace with a pen on the transfer paper. Your pen will transfer through the charcoal paper to the white. We have watercolor paper in here in my classroom. So you are just tracing over all your lines. I'm doing it with a blue pen so that way I can see where I have been. You don't have to press really hard, you just press normally. It may erase a little bit, but it is not very good at erasing. So even on these spots where my pen stops working, it transfers through because it's transferring from the pressure the pen is putting down, not the ink. So just going over every single one of those lines, even small ones. Okay, I think I have everything traced. So let's check it out. Carefully pull off the tape so you don't ruin the paper. Yes, you're gonna get some stuff in the background a little bit. Oop, it looks like I forgot the bottom part of my chin. Sure did. So we're just gonna try and make that look the best we can. Right there. This is where my chin goes. So that's what I got here. And then next is sharpieing a little bit and doing the background. All right, I am using both Mama Sharpie and Baby Sharpie. I am using Mama Sharpie fine tip for the main parts, but those eyes, maybe the nose, the parts that I would love to be smaller, I'm gonna make with the Baby Sharpie or the extra fine point. Trying to stay on these lines from the carbon because they do not erase that great. They're supposed to, but they never do. Next, we are going to make our background. We are going to start with 5 lines that are curvy, but not overlapping, coming out of our body, our head. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then we're gonna do like a 10-second line going through all these, again, curvy line, going through all your other lines. So count a slow count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now when I Sharpie all of these, every single time we make an intersection, we need to soften that spot. So going through, I'm going to go on this line to start with. And then I'm going to do this line. But before I move on too far, I'm gonna go, and every time there's an intersection, all 4 sides need to be rounded. So there should be no sharp points on your lines at all. And I just go back and smooth them. It's okay if they get to be kind of thick. So rounding off these 4 now. I do this as I go because otherwise I feel like I miss spots. Like we learned in the neurographic video, this is supposed to be a peaceful, meditative type art form. So my suggestion for music would be a chill out instrumental meditative type of music to go along with this to help you calm and just kind of forget all of the worries and just get into your artwork and not focus on anything else. All right, at this point, you should have your self-portrait Sharpied. You should have 10 of the 15 words that you put on the back, filling up the spaces, not just written boring. And then all of that should already be Sharpied and ready to go. Next, you are going to fill in every single little one of these pieces with zentangles. Zentangles are patterns that you can do without much thought. So you can just get back into that Zen moment and just do one pattern at a time. So in my classroom, I have a whole bunch of pattern sheets that I will have out for you. These sheets, you have to make them into squares, right? Patterns repeat. So you would do one of these patterns in a square, and I'll show you how to do that in a couple minutes. So more patterns, more zentangles. The more detailed these get, the more awesome your paper is. Make sure, or your project is, make sure every single time you do a straight line, you use a ruler. That is with your Sharpie and your pencil. So to show you how to do one of these, I am going to start using my, I'm gonna go straight to my baby Sharpie, but if you want to do a little pencil first just to start getting the hang of it, you may. So I am right now just lining this up with the bottom of my paper. I have the clear rulers at school, so that way you can see through and measure without having to really measure. So I'm going to line that up along the bottom to try to make it nice and straight. And then I am just made a line. I'm going to use this line to do the rest of my spaces, so they're all evenly separated. Again, with your ruler, if you're right-handed, always write on the right side of your ruler. If you're left-handed, write on the left side of the ruler. In the art room, I don't like when you use the top. I always rotate my paper so I can draw the same direction every time, and you'll see that in a minute. I rotate my paper, again, lining up that edge, and I'm gonna do this one. I might have to go back and fill that little space up right there. If you use your ruler with your pencil or your pen straight up and down, it won't go under the ruler. If you hold your ruler as big as possible with your hand, it won't move as much. I'm putting pressure straight down on that ruler to keep it from moving all over the place. Okay, so I have all my squares done there, and I'm gonna pick one of these patterns to do in each square. So if I just do, let's see, this one, let's see, which one do I really want to do? I'm gonna do number 5 right here. So I am going to do, I'm gonna pick a middle one where the whole square is there. So it goes like this, and then I just repeat it in this square over and over and over till that whole space is filled in. Again, the more details you put into this, the better it's going to look. Even in these little cut off spaces, you have to do as much of the pattern as possible. Do not leave any of these squares undone. Okay, and I'm not gonna make you watch me do all of my zentangles on here. I decided to go smaller with our paper after taking so much time on this one. But this is what my picture looks like with all of the parts zentangled. So next, we're gonna learn how to color with our watercolor pencils.